Okay guys, I'm going to start the video at number 15 now. Before I move on the last video I started simplifying this one and then I ended up going back to... I realized when I was simplifying I dropped like the cubed or something, so that's why that was getting weird. So here is the answer, and I'll leave that up for a second as I go on to number 15. So number 15 says find the slope at the indicated point. So my function is y equals 3x to the fourth minus 2x cubed plus 7x squared minus 6x plus 1. And we want to find the slope at negative 119. Now, if they just told you at x equals negative 1, to find 19, we would just plug in negative 1. So we can check to see what that is really fast. So we're going to have 3 times 1 would be 3 minus, let's see, minus 2, so plus 2, so we're at 5. Plus 7 is 12. Plus 6 is 18, plus 1 is 19. So that's where that 19 came from. But we want to find the slope. In order to find the slope, we start by finding the derivative function. Now, if it's y equals, you can just write it as y prime instead. So the derivative would be 12x cubed minus 6x squared plus 14x minus 6. And we want to know specifically what the slope is at the point negative 1, or the x value of negative 1. So we're going to have 12 times negative 1 minus 6 times is going to become a positive 1 plus 14 times negative 1 minus 6. Minus 12 minus 6. Ooh. Yikes. So minus 24 minus 14, negative 38. So the slope at negative 1 was negative 38. Number 16. Find the x coordinates where the tangent line is horizontal. Okay, so let's start by just mentioning that the tangent line, and some of you guys wrote this on your quiz, it was great. Tangent line is horizontal when f prime of x, well, a line is horizontal when its slope is 0, so when f prime of x is 0. Okay. So let's start with part A. So first I need to find the derivative function of this. So this is going to be product because I'm multiplying negative x by this function here. So I'm going to take first times the derivative of the second. Well, the second part is going to be a chain rule. The inside is x minus 1, the derivative, that's 1, so I'm good. Plus the second times the derivative of the first. That's going to be a negative 4x, x minus 1 cubed, minus x minus, whoa, sorry. Got things flipped around there real fast. So minus 1, we don't really have to show that 1, so I don't want that to confuse me. This is why you should always write in pencil. And this is supposed to be a 1. It's not going to dry well. It's okay. To the fourth. Now, we need to figure out where this is going to be 0. And right now, this is going to be very hard to set equal to 0. But you'll notice they both have an x minus 1 cubed. So I'm going to take that x minus 1 cubed here and figure out what's left. Well, what's left here is a minus 4x. What's left back here, let's see, would be a minus, we've got 1x minus 1 left. I'm going to pull out this minus sign. So I'm going to have a minus x minus 1 cubed. I have a 4x plus x minus 1. Okay. We want to figure out where this is all going to be equal to 0. Okay, that's going to be when this is equal to 1. There's one of my factors. And here, where we have an x value of 1/5. Okay. And before I turn the paper out, it's going to give me some trouble, so let's see if I can scoop it up a little bit. I'll go back later and fix it. my desk. Fix that a little bit. Okay, next page. Number 16, B. Okay, my new function is x squared plus 3 over x minus 1. We want to figure out where the derivative is going to be 0. So let's start by finding the derivative. We've got down, d up, minus up, d down, over down, down. It's going to give me on the top, I'm going to have a 2x squared minus 2x minus x squared minus 3. It's going to give me an x squared minus 2x minus 3. If I were to factor this, I would get an x minus 3 and an x plus 1. If I want to know where this function is 0, I really just care where the numerator is 0, because where the denominator is 0, I'm going to have an error of some sort. In this case, I'll have some vertical asymptotes because I don't have any holes. So I'm going to have an answer at x equals positive 3 and x equals negative 1. Those are the places where my horizontal line will be, sorry, where my tangent line will be horizontal. Okay, let's see if we can get through 17 and 18 real fast before the bell rings. Number 17. We want to write the equation of the tangent line and the normal line at the given point. So for number 17, my function is x to the 4th minus 3x squared plus 2. And we're doing at this the point 1, 0. Well, if we want to do a tangent line, we need to know what the slope is, or the slope of the tangent line. So I'm going to take the derivative. Okay. I want to figure out what's happening at an x value of 1. It's going to give me a slope of negative 2. So my tangent line is going to be at y minus the y coordinate, which is 0, equals the slope times x minus the x coordinate. Now you could just write, this should really just be y equals. So if you can simplify that. If you wanted to distribute that too, you could. The normal line will be at the same point, but the slope is going to be, the lines are going to be perpendicular for the normal and the tangent. So I'm going to take the negative reciprocal for my slope. And I can rewrite it like this. Okay, let's do number 18. My function is 1 over the cube root of x squared. Let's rewrite that as x to the negative 2/3, because in the denominator, so it's negative, we're taking the cube root, so it's 1/3, we're squaring it, so that's where that 2 came from. My derivative is going to say take the 2/3, subtract 1. That looks fun. And we're doing this at x equals 8. Okay? So let's start by doing f prime of 8. It's going to be 8 to the negative 5/3. Well, if we take the cube root of 8, we get 2. So I really have negative 2 over 3 times 2 to the 5th. So it'll give me a negative 2 over 3 times 32. It's going to be negative 1 over 48. Now notice we have the x coordinate. Oh, I'm sorry guys, this is getting harder to see. We have the x coordinate, but we don't have the y coordinate for my point. So this is going to be my slope at 8. My point, I'm going to plug in 8 into the original to get the point. So we plugged in 8. 8 squared is 64. The cube root of that is going to be 4, or you could, the cube root of 8 is 2. 2 squared is 4, so it's going to be 1/4. So my tangent line is going to be at y minus the y coordinate, the slope of the tangent line, x minus the x coordinate. They're just going to have a different slope. They're going to be perpendicular. Okay. So I'm going to pause this video and I will get started on another one soon.